Capcom published 6 Disney Afternoon titles for the NES. If you're too young to remember, or your family couldn't afford the Disney Channel in the 90s like mine, Disney Afternoon refers to a 2-hour block of programming that aired cartoons, namely Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Talespin, and Chip and Dale. From these 4 cartoons came 6 NES games: Darkwing Duck, Talespin, DuckTales 1 and 2, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 1 and 2. I'll be highlighting these 3 today: Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 1 and 2, and Talespin. We'll cover the other 3 in a later video.
In our test center, world-renowned experts play Disney's new Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers game from Capcom. Here's what they say.
Way cool. Definitely rad.
You'll help Chip and Dale escape their enemies and rescue their good friend Gadget.
Definitely awesome. All right. Absolutely nuts. Ouch.
Play Disney's Rescue Rangers game for Nintendo by Capcom. Also, look for adventures in the Magic Kingdom.
Yes! It's hot.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is an action platformer where you choose to play as either Chip or Dale through an 8-level adventure. You and a friend can co-op the game together or compete for bonus points throughout the campaign. It's up to you. Essentially, Chip and Dale need to rescue a kitten for a girl named Mandy, so they send Gadget on ahead to scout. Turns out, Gadget is kidnapped, and the kitten was a ruse by Fat Cat so he can make Gadget his slave. Dark stuff, man. Graphically, the game is outstanding and on par with Capcom's other Disney Afternoon titles. The bosses, while often simple to defeat as you just throw a ball up in the air over and over, are large and memorable. The sound and music are also well done, with the only thing lacking about the game being the challenge. There are some forks in the path that allow you to choose the route you want to take to get to the end. Neither the narrative nor your character are affected by choosing one fork over the other, or skipping certain levels, but the option is there. A major component to the game is the ability to pick up boxes and chuck them at enemies, or look under them for additional bonuses and rewards. There is no detectable slowdown with the game, giving players the ability to fly around levels quickly, all while picking up and chucking crates at unsuspecting enemies. It's fun. It makes for some addictive gameplay where it otherwise lacks some depth. All in all, Chip and Dale is a fun yet light experience, with a motive for replayability with the forking paths, and one that can be beaten in one Disney afternoon. 3.5 years would pass before fans of the game would see a sequel.
And now back to Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
Released in the twilight of the NES's lifespan, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2 fetches a fine penny for collectors, but the game is really nothing special compared to the first. Once again though, the premise is dark, as a bomb is set to blow up a restaurant and the Rescue Rangers are called in to fight off the terrorism. Turns out, Fat Cat is back at it. He escaped prison and ordered the bomb hit so he could distract the Rangers long enough to steal an ancient urn from a cargo ship. The Chipmunks must go level to level extracting information about where to find Fat Cat. The levels are crafted similarly to the first game, except perhaps slightly larger. There are no hidden items to find and no real reason to explore the stages outside of getting to the end. Armed with a crate, levels can be traversed rather quickly. Occasionally it becomes tricky to discern background shapes from objects you can hop on. Other than that, the game still looks, sounds, and feels great. I would say there is slightly more challenge here than in the first, mostly due to the bosses. Instead of throwing a red ball up in the air like in the first, here you just wait for the boss to lob an object you can pick up, while simultaneously dodging other objects and chucking it back at them. It's the same recipe for each boss, but the developers found clever ways to keep the challenge fresh. If you just want to play the game, it's not worth the price tag for an original copy, but it holds up as a worthy sequel to the original. Talespin is a scrolling shooter featuring Baloo piloting his airplane, the Sea Duck. The story of the game is simple. You're making a delivery of cargo, but that dastardly Shere Khan sicks the air pirates on you. You have to maneuver the Sea Duck through each level, dodging enemy fire and trying to down their planes in order to reach Dunk Carnage, the air pirate leader. Like the Chip and Dale games, you get 3 hearts of health, so you can be hit 3 times before dying, but the hearts can be found throughout the levels, sometimes completely hidden, so shoot everything. One important thing to know is that at the start, only one of your plane missiles can be on the screen at a time, so you don't want to come out guns blazing. It's important to be deliberate and ensure the target you're shooting at is hit. If you miss, you have to wait until that missile leaves the screen before you can fire again, and the fast enemy planes often don't leave you enough time to evade them. Over the course of the game, you accrue money by either finding it or picking up cargo along the way for delivery. At the end of each stage, you get to shop for upgrades to your plane, extra lives, or continues. Here, you can make the plane faster or your rate of fire faster, which is important to do early on, so you have multiple missiles on screen at a time. The key mechanic in the game is the ability to flip the plane in the opposite direction. This is useful for backtracking for any missed goodies, but most levels require the plane to flip in order to manipulate the screen. It takes some getting used to, and you'll find that you cannot flip the plane while the D-pad is engaged. So if you're moving up or down, left or right, let off that D-pad and then flip, or else you'll be frustrated that it didn't respond. There are some hidden bonus levels in the game as well. Find these by collecting all the cargo or shooting as many planes as you can on the screen. The levels can result in bonus lives, which you may need as the game has a stiff learning curve at the beginning. Just like Contra though, repetition and memorization is key to earning credits on Talespin. So there's one half of the Disney Afternoon Collection on the NES. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 1 and 2 are fine games, and basically the same experience, with 2 presenting a better challenge, but at the cost of a hefty price tag. Talespin is a largely underappreciated game that takes a little practice to master. If you'd like to play these games and you don't have a way to otherwise, you could always check out the Disney Afternoon Collection that came out in 2017. It has all 6 Disney Afternoon titles on it, and can be played on the PC, PlayStation 4, or Xbox One. Well, that does it for now, guys. Thanks for watching.